This question comes from Elizabeth, who says, "We've owned a townhouse approximately 20 years, always managed by the on-site property manager. Recently, we had to end and not renew the tenant's lease, as well as the current property manager's agreement. We requested by email and asked for a copy of the tenant's ledger for the period of the last current lease, and were refused a copy, saying they no longer have access to our records. We require this information for an insurance claim. We've been told that we are entitled to these records and that the property manager is required to provide them to us. The body corporate approves the engagement of the on-site manager. Could you please provide an answer?" So look, this is a fairly complicated question from Elizabeth. Fundamentally, it's about the relationship between the questioner, Elizabeth, and the on-site manager acting as her rental property manager. In the body corporate scenario, the body corporate does have a general relationship with the on-site manager from a caretaking point of view. So the body corporate typically pays the caretaker to perform, garden, pool and maintenance services for the body corporate. And that person then generally is also engaged by owners directly to provide on-site rental property management services. So the caretaking of the common property, so the gardens and grounds work, is a separate agreement to the managing of rental properties for individual unit owners. Those individual unit owners have a separate individual agreement with their property manager, who may also be the caretaker. So it's generally the same person, but it's done under two distinctly separate agreements. The body corporate does not have control over the work that the caretaker does as a rental property manager. So anything that the on-site manager or caretaker, whatever whatever name they go by, any work that they do as a rental property manager is not able to be regulated by the body corporate. It needs to be regulated by the RTA or the Office of Fair Trading. So anybody who's conducting rental property management services in Queensland has to be licensed. So the Office of Fair Trading in Queensland issues those real estate licenses, and they control the operation of the rental property business, trust accounting, and any license conditions. And separate to that, the RTA, of course, most people would know, deals with tenancy issues and can provide advice to landlords, agents, and tenants about the way tenancies work. So in this particular case, Elizabeth is suggesting she is entitled to a copy of the tenant ledger, which I agree with. It's not something the body corporate has on file. The body corporate does not have the ability to gain that information either, because it's a private agreement between the owner and the tenant. So the body corporate doesn't have the ability to get that for Elizabeth. Elizabeth would need to go to the property manager directly. If they have in fact deleted access to the records or deleted the file, I'm not sure what would be able to be done about that, but that's a question for Elizabeth to ask to either the RTA or the Office of Fair Trading, because I am aware that real estate property managers are required to keep accounting records for a prescribed period of time and keep trust accounting records. So that information should be available for, I think 7 years.